Welcome in. Welcome in to Dish-and-ish. That's Damon Benning. I'm Ravi, Lulla.
First name, last name.
How we doing?
We're good. How are things? How was the short week? I feel like I just talked to you for 75 hours yesterday, so this ought to be good.
No, it was like a half hour. Come on now.
It's a long time on the phone.
It is.
I think so.
I don't talk to people on the phone a ton.
I remember when I used to keep track of phone minutes, or they did on your bill.
Sure, yeah.
And I'd pay attention. I would always see like how low a number I could get.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, why would people like really buy minutes? And that's like a big deal. I just need unlimited text and data.
Yep, absolutely.
Outside of that, I'm good.
If I could get a phone plan that was cheaper with just unlimited text and data, I would absolutely do that because I don't hardly talk on the phone at all.
Isn't unlimited text? Isn't that just the way it is?
Standard now?
Yeah,
and so is the data.
Yeah.
The
The
data
data's
package is
not unlimited standard, not with everybody, not with all the companies.
Okay.
Some of them it's like tiers, but I'm not about that life. I'm on my phone all the time.
Of a cloud.
That's
Smokey
a
Robinson.
different kind of tiers.
Yeah. Shane, can we
Spelled
play
different.
music during this thing?
No.
Come on now.
Man, listen, I'll just continue to sing to myself. As lousy as I am. You got me looking at this menu now, and we won't put them on blast, but
Blinded by the light.
I'm
That
right.
too.
It's just okay.
It is just okay. Yeah,
We're just comparing some restaurants around town. We're not going to kill anybody because they
No.
all want to sponsor the show. So
and you're more than welcome to
Yeah.
send us our money or send us your money, and then we'll talk great about it.
And I also trade for budgeted items. So, like, if you'd like to just give me food gift cards, a couple of G a month,
Yeah, no, we'll take that. We'll take gift cards.
I'll eat that up.
We'll
I trade for budgeted items.
listen. If you want us to do a live show from your restaurant, do a little taste test, we'll do that. We
Trade
are open to opportunities.
What else would you trade for? Like, would you trade for a cleaning service?
Oh, absolutely.
Detailing?
Nah, probably not.
Really? Oh, you don't really care. That's not your jam, is it?
Listen,
You said you care about if your car works.
I care about it. I care about if it works and if I'm comfortable in it.
That's it.
I want it to look good too, but not to the point of like detailing because I don't keep cars long enough that they really get messed up.
I don't either. I'm an every 3-year guy, but
Yeah.
it still matters.
So I always so far have leased the same type of vehicle. And if they want to sponsor me, that would
Cherokee
be
people.
dope. Yeah. Are there any Jeep dealerships
could you-
out there that want to sponsor your boy?
Can you come out with that song now?
I'm the other kind of Indian, Damon.
No,
so
I
don't
understand
know
that.
if-
But Shane, who sang that
you
song?
mean can you like sing that song now?
Yeah.
I think if you're actually a Cherokee people, you could.
What's the song?
Collide. It's a song. You're an
Not
idiot.
that one. That's
not
Howie
the song.
Day.
Who Shane, who sang that song? Cherokee.
I stay away from that song.
It's like the 70s.
Yeah, no, I know the song. I think it depends on if you're actually Cherokee or not. You can't have white people sing that song these days.
Yes, you could.
Well,
I think you could.
maybe.
Couldn't you?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the lyrics to
Don't
make sure
you
they're
watch
not.
Yellowstone. Paul Revere and the Raiders.
That doesn't sound
Probably
right.
not a great sign that those are not white folks.
Paul Revere and the Raiders on the Midnight Ride.
That's a 60s band.
Yeah, that's.
No, I know the song. I'm not sure if you can get away with it now if you're a white folk.
He said that's a 60s, but didn't I just say that?
You
Shane?
said
But I think that's a 70s song.
70s song. So it's also a 70s band, Shane.
Well, the point is it's old, and it should be something that you know, Shane, because that's typically how you get down.
Yeah, that's your wheelhouse, man.
No, this is my wheelhouse.
And he's like, "This is for the bourbons and the Cadillacs." He's so stupid. You encourage him just
I didn't do
with
anything.
his
I didn't do anything.
foolishness,
I
man.
hate when he
How was
does
your
that.
week? It drives me up the wall.
You know, I'm having a bit of a challenging week
Uh-oh.
with my services. So we had a storm this morning.
Oh, that's
so my
right.
power was out when I got here. Shout out to my mom for bringing me over here today.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen a mom drop her son off.
Here we go. Listen, I mean, you work in a school, man. You see that all the time.
Yeah, you're darn near 40.
I'm 35. Come on now.
It's like it was kind of cute.
No, my
What
mom,
was she waiting on though? Like, what were you guys doing? Were you like saying your goodbyes? What the schedule was for the day?
no, when I was in the car,
Yeah.
I was eating my breakfast.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, so we were waiting for your show to be over because I
Right.
was waiting to be able to get in.
Right.
So I'm not trying to knock on the window while Shane's producing.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for that because we rolled up at like 9:50. So I was like, I got 10 minutes, and then I was like, I'll eat my sandwich.
What was the? Was it that place of choice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, you kind of like their little breakfast sandwiches. I don't get it.
The breakfast sandwiches are all right, but it's right next to the plate. Like it's right here. That's why I go there.
Yeah,
It's a convenience.
Is that
issue.
not one of the more awkward entities to get in
It's
and out
the
of?
worst parking lot this side of like 72nd and Dodge.
Now that's saying something.
That's a bad parking lot.
It's funny you pick 72nd and Dodge because there's a place right down the road that would rival
72nd and Pacific.
72nd and Mercy.
Oh,
What famous restaurant is right around 72nd and like almost the Mercy Center right down the street from the hospital? That is it's not a nightmare to get into. It's just not user friendly.
What is right there?
The Drover.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I always think in my head, Drover's further east than that for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I know it's not, but like when you say 72nd Street, my mind doesn't.
That's not a fantastic place to get in and out of.
No,
but it's also a destination place too, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're just driving along the street and you're like, oh,
that's not a foot traffic place. That's like we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
to
Yeah,
Drover.
total destination.
So they're
place.
okay with that. Starbucks need to be a little bit more convenient to get in and out of, or coffee places in general, right?
How quickly did they put that bad boy up, though?
I think they made it out of paper mache.
I mean, it was fast.
They just like plastered the things on the walls. We're done here.
I wonder if the people in the hotel, like this strip, utilize it.
Oh, I bet. I don't know if I bet the employees at the hotel use it all the
You
time.
think?
Oh yeah. There's a coffee place in the hotel that my wife works at, and like it's 90% employees in there getting their stuff.
I feel like it's like that at the hospital. I was just at Methodist
Yeah.
2 weekends ago for my mom, and
Is that the one on Mercy too? On like
oh
no, that's Bergen. That's
this was Methodist is right there off of 1 block south of Dodge.
yeah.
Off
So
of 84th.
Bergen's the same way. They've got the big coffee shop in there. It's like 90% doctors and nurses, and like occasionally some patients are in there.
I went in there and got ice.
Just ice.
Yeah, because this is weird, but sometimes I get nauseous in hospitals.
Okay, is it like the smell or just in the vibe?
Probably the vibe.
Is it like an anxiety thing a little bit?
So I chew on ice.
That helps.
And they have good crushed ice.
Yeah, hospitals always have good crushed ice.
Good crushed
for
ice.
the pregger ladies.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's for pregnant women because they're supposed to chew on ice to help them. Like I think it does help with their nausea and keep them cool.
Hey, listen, that's amazing. Because I'm like, all these places have crushed ice.
Yeah. I think it's for the maternity.
I looked at ice makers the other day online.
Oh, did you look at like the $600 like nugget ice one?
It was $529. And I was like,
Yeah.
that can stay at Amazon because even though with the Prime deals,
I've thought about buying that like on multiple occasions.
it's so I have 2 friends and maybe it's the company I keep, but they both have those. One guy.
Is it Oklahoma Tyler?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he would do that.
Okay.
Because I think he would, even though he's a little high maintenance, I think he thinks ice would be a waste of time.
So there's people that don't care about their ice at all,
And
then there are
he
people
spent
that
so
are,
much time in Europe. He'll even
he
drinks
goes no ice.
He can drink his beer room temp. He'll leave it sitting around and threaten you if you throw it out.
I'm not about that life. I need ice cold beverages.
And he says that's what they do overseas.
Yeah, that's fine. That would be honestly my biggest struggle about going if I ever wanted to like live in Europe or whatever, or, like retire.
Hygiene?
Well, no, it would be the AC
Yeah.
because they don't really do AC over there, and ice and beverages because I like my beverages. Ice cold.
As do I. I put my milk in the freezer for a little while.
Dude,
the water has to be ice cold. I've got Zoe on it now. Even she needs ice.
I will if I'm having a beer or something that you're not supposed to like water down. I will grab a cup of ice, put the beer like the bottle or the can in the ice to keep it cold. So that I don't have to worry about like room temperature stuff.
I know sometimes you make fun of me. You kind of passive aggressively shot your shot earlier when you're like, looking at TikTok recipes again.
Oh no, I was just
kind
asking.
of passive aggressively. You're like, what are you doing?
That wasn't a shot.
But I did find a hack on
Okay.
TikTok to get bottled drinks cold quicker. Is you wet the paper towel, wrap them in a paper towel, and put them in the freezer, and it's like that's like 15 minutes.
I always wondered if it worked or not. Have you tried it yet, or you just watched?
No, but this guy is foolproof.
Okay.
He's the guy that taught me to get the corners on my rugs to go down.
Okay.
So
his stuff is legit.
His stuff is legit.
Okay.
He's got a super annoying voice, and I don't love his delivery. But
the content's too good. You can't help it.
so I had to cut a guy off the other day.
Yeah.
I won't. I'm not going to blow his TikTok following, but he is in the Louisiana area,
Okay.
and it's not Stale Cracker.
Okay.
I used to think he was like a knockoff of Stale Cracker because he always starts off every TikTok the same. Whoa, I'm gonna learn you today.
I hate that stuff. I can't do it.
And I just can't get past it. Even though his recipes,
Content's pretty good.
it's sensational.
If I can't get past the voice or the delivery on somebody, it doesn't matter how good the content
I'm gonna
is.
find him.
I can't do it, man. It's part of it is just because
Now he does always have an impressive shoe game, but I thought he tried to like pattern what he does off of Stale Cracker because you can tell they have that strong Cajun dialect.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this isn't gonna play well over time. But his recipes,
Legit.
they are sensational. My man can stuff whole chicken wings.
Oh.
He knows he can quickly pull the bones out.
Mm-hmm.
He stuffs them. He'll put like dirty rice or shrimp or.
You know what I like? We were talking about this restaurant earlier.
The one that I looked up.
Yeah. So this is part of why I was disappointed when I went there. So I really love a stuffed shrimp. Like
I'll take it.
There's places that will like stuff a shrimp with like crab meat.
Oh yeah.
And it's incredible if you do it right.
One of the best places ever. They closed, had the best stuffed shrimp.
And the place that we were talking about, I went there, I ordered that, and
You thought you were eating stovetop in there?
I barely even wanted to eat it. I was so mad.
What was it supposed to be stuffed with?
Crab.
Really?
It was shrimp supposed to be stuffed with crab, and it honestly felt like it was
stovetop stuffing,
like canned tuna.
Really?
It was so bad. I was furious.
So,
like, I'm not a send it back type guy, or I'm not like I don't want to pay for this. This is bad. It's like I took a chance. This is on me. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that's as close as I've been to being like, get this out of my face.
So Rivera's had the best stuffed shrimp.
Yeah. So that was the
shrimp
Mexican place
Alhambra
on 120th, and it's a Goose 120 now.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So that's a spinoff of another.
So there's a group. There's a restaurant group. So Taxis is right around the corner.
Taxis used to be fire. They're Caesar wings.
So I still go there a lot because
I like Taxis too. They have a salmon point toast.
Yeah. Dude,
sensational.
I get the.
Do I sound like a food snob?
Oh, we are food snobs. It's fine. Just own it.
I know I am.
Yeah,
I'm
super bougie about my food.
They Taxis is legit and it travels well too.
It does. Yeah.
During COVID, one of the businesses that invested in to-go equipment containers.
Yeah. You have to get the good ones so it doesn't like steam up and get soggy.
And they've turned out to be all my Tupperware.
Dude, they're nice.
Dude, they last.
So Taxis is owned by the same group as Goose 120. I think Stokes is in that group, and there's one more. It's Twisted. I always
Fork or Cork.
I always confuse them, and I don't know which one it is.
I've been to both. Last time I was at Twisted Fork, I'm not sure it's open. It was downtown. I went with I actually was with Oklahoma Tyler.
So that's Fork. Cork is the one at like One Pacific Place, or not?
Who had the fried bacon? I think it was Twisted Fork.
Yeah, I haven't been to Fork. I've been to Cork.
Yeah, I had that.
But so that's all owned by
battered bacon. I was like, wow.
That's all owned by the same group.
Really?
Yeah. So that's all the same restaurant.
So I got to look at that menu.
Yeah, it's like Italian. It's mostly Italian food.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So right down the road, I love the cafe, which used to be one of my dad's favorite breakfast cafes, which is like 3 doors down, not the group. And then another 3 doors down, I like the Phoenix food.
Dude, yeah.
Occasionally when they
Phoenix.
Our secret rendezvous.
Yeah.
Occasionally when they fire up the smoker.
Oh, okay.
Dude, their food is legit.
Low key, I have only ever gotten a couple things there because I really like places that have good hot dogs. I love a hot dog.
Oh my god, I may have to take my headsets off.
And the tots are immaculate. Their tots are so good.
Okay, so the dude that was just mad about the stuffed shrimp tasting more like tuna.
Here we go.
Is the guy that's the hot dog connoisseur?
Yes. So here's
okay.
Here's where I'm at. Let me explain this. Okay.
Right. This ought to be.
Nobody can do that.
I like places that know what they are and don't pretend to be something else. Like
Okay.
if I go to Taco Bell, I know what I'm getting from Taco Bell.
Somebody told me that Taco Bell has over 100 ingredients in a soft shell taco.
That seems like too many.
Is that mind-boggling?
Or if I go to like a Phoenix, that's crazy. Like that's
How in that?
but I still like Taco Bell.
Exactly, Tim.
But like, or if I go to Phoenix, I'm expecting kind of like just bar food, right?
Like,
And they don't try to be anything more. Their prices reflect what they are. Their food reflects what they are.
Phoenix they have fantastic prices.
Their prices are great and the food's good.
And a great music box.
Yes, they do. What I don't like is like the place we were talking about with
Trying to do too much?
That they think they're elevated, but then they don't provide the elevated experience.
Okay.
That's what bothers me. If I'm going to a place that I know is like a hole in the wall, then like I'm expecting hole in the wall food, and then they deliver. That's what I want.
Did you like The Rock in wrestling? He was a know your role and shut your mouth guy.
I've never really been
Because
big into
he's just
wrestling.
like, oh really?
Yeah, it wasn't like
it's okay. I'm not going to judge.
Do you
that.
smell
Not like a
what-
guy that is a hot dog connoisseur that was telling me about the
Listen.
stuffed shrimp. Not and hot dog. Listen, hot dogs are fine.
dude, I like a good hot dog.
A good hot dog is
Like it hits the spot
Yeah,
sometimes.
there's no question.
And like if you're going to a place, like I don't go to the Phoenix expecting shrimp stuff with crab. Like, and I would, and honestly, if they had it,
You're not getting it.
I'd be
there.
horrified.
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't get that. That's a terrible idea.
You strike me as the type of dude to go to Romeo's and get a hamburger.
So not even when you were younger, you weren't into wrestling. at
Ravi
all?
here for team. That's the one thing you're gravitating towards.
I am, because everybody I know at least gravitated towards that sometime in their life, and then they either,
So this is
passed it along or grew up out of it or
this is a
whatever.
practicality thing for me. I didn't have cable growing up, so I didn't have access to watch it.
Really?
Yeah. So like anything that was not anything.
Were your parents fairly frugal?
But do you mean poor? Yes.
I would not have guessed that.
So we were fine. Like I always tell people, okay, so I was the youngest of 4.
I'm the youngest of 5.
So that's why we get along, youngest
Yep,
kids.
yeah.
You'd like my mom too. She's the youngest.
She seems cool.
No, my mom's cool. Like
Yeah.
super cool. Like literally, I call her at like 8:30. I was like, Mom, I need a ride to go do my podcast. And she's like, on my way.
Oh, that's cute.
No, she's the best.
Okay.
And
okay.
so, but I was the youngest of 4. We always had a house. We always had a roof over our head. We always had food, but there weren't a lot of extras,
right.
right? Like that's just how it was. Like
It's very, very, very similar.
so, it's like when I say we were poor, I'm not like trying to disparage people. that live in
Very similar.
actual poverty.
What you
But
would like if you were fortunate enough to go out, you split up like 3 fries, even though there were 5 of you.
Yeah, so like we didn't go out to eat a ton. Usually we would go after church on Sunday. We'd go out and have like our family meal, and that was probably it for the week in terms of going out to eat or whatever.
Totally.
And it was the Chinese place that we talked about.
Yeah.
Al Suhunan.
Yeah.
We used to go there every week.
Place is still fire.
Still fire, huge portions. You would split stuff up, whatever, right? So when I say we're poor, it's just like we didn't have a lot of extras. So like that's why I buy all the shoes and stuff now. It's because like I always wanted those when I was a kid. Couldn't get them. That's what I want now.
At what age were you when you figured out that they didn't have 4 smaller chip bags in a bag of chips? Are you old enough to remember those?
Yeah.
Shane, did you ever have like Betsy Bakers and chips like that where they had the little brown bags inside the big bag?
We didn't have those.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Honestly, yeah, we didn't have those.
Oh man, you know what I'm talking about? Like the brown bags of chips that were inside the bigger chips, the bigger bag of chips.
Well, I don't think we had those.
Yeah. So
Well, maybe. I mean,
we would buy those. I don't know if I can find a picture. If you're older, you definitely remember these chips. Potato chips. But there was always the 4 little or 3 little brown bags inside the big bag of chips that help with freshness.
Yeah,
that always
no, I don't
sounded
think we
like
had
something
those.
that would be brought to a family picnic by like an aunt or uncle.
So we would make one of those. Normal people could eat those, and they would just eat the brown bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, our house, you get
You
a little
split up.
handful and you roll it back up
Yep.
and you put it back in.
Get the little chip clips.
Yep, then put it back in the bag.
Yeah, no, and so like I don't like to, I don't like to make it seem like, oh, we grew up in these horrible circumstances, because we didn't. It's just a lot of I was probably the poorest kid at Millard North, or pretty close to it, right? Like, because like I grew up going to Millard and whatever, and so, yeah, stuff like cable we didn't have.
Did you drink powdered milk like soda or
No,
like soda?
we didn't drink powdered milk. We always
Yeah.
had like the normal milk.
We did.
Like I said, we weren't on like government cheese or anything like that.
We were,
but
yeah.
So I don't like to overplay it. But like, okay,
Do you know what's funny about that? I used to want to go to my grandmother's to get
because
the
you liked
cheese.
the government cheese.
Yeah, it tasted like real cheese.
That's how
that's what my mom
grew
said.
up.
She always says that. She's like, I don't like cheese now. I like government cheese. She wishes she could go back to it.
So
it was like my mom grew.
It was like a
small town Iowa.
It was a treat, like and it was a big block.
you get
and my
block.
grandma would slice off like
for like
a
the
quarter.
You got like this huge block,
and I would put it on cheese and cracker, and which is funny because do you know what my thing is to this day? It's still cheese, and I prefer to slice it myself.
Really, like off of a block?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Even when I shred it, like in whatever I'm doing, I prefer to grate my own cheese.
But yeah, so no cable. Didn't get like the fancy shoes or anything like that.
Did you get your shoes at any point when you were a kid where they were tied together in a bin?
Ooh, I don't remember. They were always on sale. They're always like the sale. Like we would go at the end of seasons and stuff like that to get good deals.
I remember getting shoes from a place called Osco, and then it was Skaggs.
I don't.
What about so you didn't have the half price store either? Oh yeah, there was one left.
We had half price. We had like your Kmart's.
Kmart was probably just closing when you were done
they
with
were
high
around
school?
So they were around when I was a kid. By the time I was in like high school, we were done. It was like a Target family by that point.
Okay,
but
because they used to have shoes in the bin too, and the laces were tied together.
So I think when I was younger, it was probably the shoes in the bin. By the time I got a little bit older, it wasn't really like that. But yeah, so like there weren't a lot of extras. Like I played rec baseball because we couldn't afford select, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't play select baseball until literally a team just like paid for me, basically. Like they were just like, yeah, we want you. Like go ahead and.
I remember when I tried out for my first baseball team.
Because you play Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we asked about travel costs.
Yeah, that was a huge thing.
And they said we could do fundraisers, right?
Yeah.
So. The famous candy bars. There's like 3 in the little cardboard box.
That's why to this day, and anytime somebody comes to my door, like that's fundraising for a team or whatever, I always buy their stuff.
Oh, really?
That was me. I was the kid.
Okay.
And so like I have like empathy for him in that situation because it's like I know this kid just wants to play some ball. Obviously, his parents can't afford it. Like I'm trying to help the kid out.
Yeah, doing a fundraiser.
And so, I was never into anything that was on cable. I never got into because we just didn't have it. Until I was I think they got it when I was in like college, is when they finally got cable and stuff. So, it's not, again, we didn't grow up bad. It's just there weren't a lot of extras.
So there's some solder. There's some solder to you, like there is for me. One of the things that I took away from my family that I still would like to try to do today is I like to eat as a family. Like, food is important. Mm-hmm. Because that was the time that we kind of gathered.
It's the time you spend together,
and it would always be around a meal. But one of the things, like, there are lots of things though that I won't eat because of me when I was a kid.
Like what?
Like these things called neck bones.
Oh, okay.
I don't like boiled potatoes.
Okay.
I definitely do not like meatloaf.
See, I've never been a meatloaf guy. I think meatloaf is gross, and I don't know why.
You know the real reason why I don't like pizza? Because my mom would make like these homemade.
Oh, my mom made homemade pizzas too.
Deep dish pizzas, it seemed like, and it just was
too much dough.
Not good.
Too much dough.
So I don't like. I'm traumatized because what I was going with this was because with solder is. There's only a couple. He's extremely cheap.
Yeah.
See,
and I feel like you go one of two ways.
Disgustingly cheap.
Like when you grow up without a lot.
Yeah.
You either go
super extravagant,
like I do,
or
we're like, okay, I've got some money now, so I can have the things that I always wanted.
Yeah.
Or you go like solder, where you're like afraid of not having again.
There's only 3 things he spends money on.
Shoes.
Because he never had good shoes.
Yep, that's me too. I had fine shoes, but I didn't have the shoes I wanted.
Real milk.
I bought myself a pair of AIs like a year ago because I had always like
you wanted.
They were the coolest shoes.
You're going to get some AIs.
The questions were the coolest shoes when I was like in middle school, and I couldn't get them.
Milk is the one thing and he's a real frugal grocery shopper.
So he spends money on good milk.
He will buy good milk.
Yeah.
And,
you have to. You can't
and
do bad
he
milk.
likes a nice car because he never had a nice car.
Yeah.
Outside of that, my man will eat plain label turkey, no name bread. Like, he doesn't care. He'll eat chicken fingers. Like,
I like chicken fingers though.
yeah, that's just weird. Like, I'm not saying they're not. So it's just interesting. Because I like listening to how people. So, like, if you have $14, okay, or 12 or 10 or whatever chicken fingers are going to cost, like, isn't there something else that you would get that you couldn't normally make or get for the same amount of money, or just because you like it, you're getting it?
Yeah. So for me, it's not a money thing in terms of, like, if I go to a restaurant, and I understand this is a privilege, I'm not generally looking at prices in terms of determining what I'm getting. Because it's usually just me and my wife, so it's not like we don't have to worry about, like,
there goes the whole dink thing again.
Well, it is, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when you're feeding 6 people versus when you're feeding 2, the equation changes, right?
Yeah, understood.
Especially when you're going out to eat, because that racks up pretty quick.
Understood.
Because every once in a while, when, like, my parents are incredibly hard to buy gifts for because they don't want anything, and so generally I take them out to dinner for Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever.
Lot like my mom.
And so I end up paying, and I usually end up paying for the whole family because my brother and sister or whoever come. Then it's like, so I understand, like, it racks up pretty quick when you've got a whole family.
But your brother that you're close to that's here, he does what? Doesn't he kind of take?
He does pretty well.
Yeah, he's kind of your overseer, right? Like, you always say, "Hey, I'm going to go meet with my brother. I want to go do this with my brother." He lets you pay for his meal.
Sometimes, like, every once in a while, he'll vend me some stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it ends up even. Like,
yeah. Okay, that's cool.
It's not. We don't really keep that much track of things.
But you guys do get along well.
Yeah, me and my brother get along real well. But so I totally understand how, like, that number creeps up when you're feeding 2 versus feeding 6 or 8 or 10 or how.
Like, would you pay? You don't obviously have any problems buying a hot dog? Would you pay for grilled cheese if it was good?
It'd have to be pretty phenomenal. But it's just because I don't.
So what's a phenomenal chicken strip?
I just don't care about grilled cheese. It's just a taste thing.
Okay.
Like, grilled cheese is fine, but I'm not gonna crave grilled cheese.
Are you particular with, like? Well, you can't cook, so it's
I
different.
don't cook. Yeah, I can't at all.
Like, I feel like I make a good burger. I would be very reluctant to go buy a burger. There are just things like that. So you don't have those things?
I'm reluctant to buy certain things because I know the quality probably isn't what I expect it to be. So, like, I get a little bit spoiled from my wife cooking because she doesn't cook at home a ton, but when she does, it's really, really good. And burgers is a thing that she's really good at. And so, like, burgers and steaks, I'm real hesitant to buy out. Same thing with Indian food because my dad makes killer Indian food.
Yeah, we need to have a talk about that because
I can tell you the places to go.
And I'm sold on a couple.
Yeah,
but feel free to, like, whip up a meal for your boy, right?
Dude,
does he have a homemade? That's what I want to know.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Does he have a homemade knockoff tandoori chicken way to make it without the clay oven and all that?
Oh yeah, he does everything just on, like, my parents' little stove at their house. Like, he can make whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
He gets the red hue with the yogurt
Everything.
And the dye and the little sear marks.
Incredible.
Okay.
You can get whatever you want.
We need to talk.
Whatever. Like,
that's my jam.
He's a magician in there.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'll do is I'll take you over to. He, like, cooks at the Indian temple over on 132nd and at the Hindu temple.
Really?
Yeah, they have, like, they run, like, a cafe in one of the buildings. I'll take you over there. It's the best Indian food you will ever have.
So can I just walk in there and buy it like a regular restaurant?
Yeah. I think it's like a donation.
And you're just not telling me this?
Well, I forgot how into Indian food you are.
Dude, that and Greek are the jam.
Because I do that. He brings food because my wife loves Indian food, and as we discussed, I'm not huge into it. And so he will bring home, like, he'll bring us stuff from the Temple Cafe.
Yeah, we need to.
So we'll hook it up. We'll figure it out.
Well, I'm just telling you, before this pod is over, I'll be having it. As I just want to know, man. Like, because right now I'm only locked into 2 Indian places.
It's the best Indian food you will have in town. Because basically, it's like my dad and then a bunch of, like, old Indian ladies, like, cooking this stuff up. He kind of, like, runs the place a little bit.
Doesn't he make you uncomfortable? But it's his people. He can say what he wants.
They're like these elderly Indian ladies cooking up food. I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah. Like, this is old black lady. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't sound the same coming from me.
It's true. But yeah, that's the best Indian food you'll have in town.
Like, I don't know. Like, if I was Chinese, would I say, this little Oh, this other little
You
Chinese
probably
lady.
would. You'd be like, oh, this little Chinese lady was making food for me. Like, that doesn't sound weird. It sounds weird when I say it.
Okay. So my man likes hot dogs, but he's mad about stuffed shrimp.
Can I say so? This other little small person is making food for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can say that.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on in here for lunch, it must be booming.
Oh,
Are
it's
they
popping. They're busy.
Are
today.
they having like?
They got like a special going or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I saw spicy teriyaki for the wings.
Ooh, okay.
And that's
I had some sweet chili wings yesterday.
So I made a dip yesterday.
Did you?
Remember I just showed you those pork chops?
Yeah.
So this was what it was. It was sweet chili sauce.
I like sweet chili.
And my buddy Asian Wyatt told me as this guy that just said you can't say
Yeah.
this.
You're like, oh, you can't say
So my buddy,
ladies, and you're like, Asian Wyatt.
My buddy Asian Wyatt told me about a couple of these Asian marts, and so I've kind of dabbled in these.
Oh, you got to go to the Asian markets.
So
Yeah.
great barbecue sauce. It's a Japanese
Yes.
barbecue sauce I buy, fish sauce I buy, but there's this chili sauce I
Yeah.
like. So I had some old leftover hot mustard that I kept in the
little plastic container.
Yep.
Yep.
Poured that in with just a squirt, just a little mini squirt of ranch.
Oh. Okay.
I'd put it on anything.
Interesting.
I literally would put it on anything. It was so good.
You threw me with the ranch. I was not expecting that.
I wanted to cut it a little bit.
Yeah.
And Zoe was sitting right next to me, so I just
just a little bit.
and that's it. It was unbelievable.
Hot mustard, sweet chili sauce, and a little bit of ranch.
Yeah. And the hot
That's-
mustard has to be legit. Like there's a couple
real
of places.
hot mustard.
Yeah, like that will open your nostrils if
yeah.
you get too much.
The sinus clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's probably one of my one of my favorite
Big hot mustard guy.
big hot mustard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At one point, this is probably about 8 or 9 years ago. I was still kind of bacheloring it. I would go to McDonald's and just hoard the hot mustards. So I had a drawer full of condiments.
Okay.
But then I learned that people that cook and dabble in Far East food, like whether it's Chinese or Japanese, their hot mustard is
so much better.
1,000 times
so much
better.
Yeah.
And I've got it store bought. I'll send it to you on
You
social media.
You got to hit up
in the
Asian
jar,
markets. Yeah.
and it's even that's not the same.
No.
I want what they have in the restaurants.
Yeah, I like the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Interesting.
And it was. I'm telling you, I'm a sweet chili guy too, and I don't even like sweet. But
I do. I lean a little sweeter than you do, I think.
So I cut it with a little hot chili oil because
Yeah.
I have that too. I have a lot of. Dude, I have 5 spice. I have.
You got like the whole thing going.
No, I do. Dude, I even have in my house. I have turmeric and garam masala.
Okay.
Like I like Indian, and I like to cook
Like Asian flavors.
I like
Yeah. Well, I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, as long as I don't leave the house smelling like it, and I'm sitting next to you, you're like, oh man, this dude just came from a restaurant, or he just cooked. Or, then I'm good. Because I prefer to cook.
Yeah, I don't. And it's because I can't. But I mean, I could probably learn, but I don't
Dude,
know.
you said you bought 20.
Like 10. I like 10 frozen meals.
Why are you eating those?
Just so I have some at the house. Just in
What's
case.
the brand? Like,
I get the Devour ones because they got high protein.
Shane, is that a good brand, or is that too expensive?
I don't know. I'd have to see what the box
They're
looks like.
$4 a pop.
Is that high, Shane?
I don't know. I probably would stay with the banquet. I'd say probably.
See, the banquets don't have as much protein in them, though.
Oh,
Shane is teeny. Shane, what's a fair price for
Frozen meal?
frozen meal for you?
probably like $4.
Yeah, see, it's not bad. They're pretty good too. Like they're really not bad. But it's so if I don't have stuff in the house, I will just either order or eat out all the time. And so if I have some stuff in the house, then I won't.
What do you spend a month on dog food?
So between dog food and I've got a couple medications in there for the dogs as well, about $700 a month.
That is unreal.
I got big dogs.
I'm mad every time I drop $100 on their dog food, and it lasts a month and a half, and I'm distraught.
Oh man, I mean, so like we buy like high end dog food too. Like so we buy like
As
the
do
good
we.
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But your dogs are little, so they're
Yes.
not eating a ton. My smallest dog is 70 pounds.
That's only $1 a day per dog. That's not bad.
He did.
What, $100 or $700?
It's a month and a half.
Who? Yeah, so his $100. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like a lot. It hurts me every time I have to get a new bag of dog food.
Yeah, no, I mean it's an investment. It's you know.
You said $700.
So I get it's 6 because one of the medications I only have to get every other month because they give me 2 months at a time. So it's $600 a month.
That's the first time your little shepherd has been making the photos too, like with the cat.
Oh yeah, Rocky.
You don't usually. So that dog is probably either the least photogenic or the one that you put on social media the least, because that's the first time I've seen that dog on social media.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's he's a good looking dog. I think
it's my favorite kind of dog.
Yeah. So he's kind of goofy looking for a German Shepherd because
his face is so narrow.
Yeah, when he's a mix.
Yeah.
So like his ears don't stick up. He's got little floppy ears because I think he's mixed with like a hound or something. And so
that damn dog fornicating again.
He's a little goofy looking for a shepherd. So like if you're really into shepherds, you'd be like, what is that dog's problem?
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's still a pretty dog.
Yeah, he's a good looking dog.
Rocky. Why am I not surprised?
Dude, love him.
Does he hit threes?
Always. No, he I don't know. I should probably take more pictures of Rocky. I don't have a good reason.
I can't believe you kept that after it caused all the strife with breaking the closet doors of your house. You kept that stupid cat.
Well, listen, it wasn't the cat's fault it kind of was because he locked me in. But
Shane, do you remember when he had to break his own door down?
No, tell me the story.
Okay, so I have
Lord.
I had a closet door. It's no longer. It's a curtain now. In my bedroom that for whatever reason, I think it's because he put the door on backwards so it would open up the way he wanted it to because it's
the original homeowner.
Yeah. So the guy I bought it from. I don't know if he built the house or not, but so he put it on so that it would open up and not hit the bedroom door. So it was on backwards. So it locked from the outside. And so the cat likes to like mess with doorknobs and stuff because it's a cat.
I don't get it.
So I closed the door and I didn't think I had closed it all the way. And the cat like closed it and messed with the doorknob because it was one of those twist locks on some of the like inside doors. And he locked me in. So I'm kind of like messing, and I was going to our old radio station because I had to go do a show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I can't call anybody because I don't have time for that. I can't like figure out for my wife to get home or whatever. And so I was like, I think I'm going to have to break this door down. And so
that's awesome.
I punched it.
Not really. But that's the stuff cats do.
I punched it first because I'm stupid. And I like made enough of a dent that I was like, okay, I can do this. Because I'd never like broken a door down before. That's not something that's like had been necessary in my life. I know we've led different lives, Damon. So I don't know if
Touche. I may have broken a door or
some
two.
of us had a little bit more of a misspent youth than others.
Some of us have better temperaments than the other. I'm better now.
And so I punched this door and I was like, ow, that hurt, but it also worked. And I was like, oh, I've got feet, you moron, kick it. And so
you just kicked your own bedroom door down.
Couldn't you
Not the bedroom, just the closet door.
Couldn't you have the cat help you?
No, the cat was on the outside.
What? You answered. Shame on you. First of all, dumb question. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, say, hey,
here, kitty, unlock the door, please.
Hey. Well, I mean, do that thing with the knob again,
but do it backwards. Do it the other way.
Yeah, you're like, and you said he's outside, like it was feasible.
I mean, apparently he was able to do it one way. Couldn't he do it the other way?
Can make you dumber. I tell people that all the time. Know your sphere, man.
So no, the cat did not help Shane. But yeah, so I had to kick the door down.
Yeah. Interesting. So we should have probably put this podcast first because this was like a getting to know you.
Yeah.
Because what I want to get into, and we're going to do it next week, I want to talk about leadership and negligence in leadership.
Oh, we're talking about Pat Fitzgerald, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's across the board.
Yeah. So
it's across the board. We're already an hour in. We got to stop.
No, we're like 40 minutes in. We're okay.
Oh,
we're done, Shane. Is that what
we're doing this?
We'll get to it next week because there's a lot to get into there.
So I saw this defense of and these comparisons to other schools, Georgia, Alabama.
Okay,
and I'm like, Are we really about to rationalize a lot of this behavior, or are we just like?
So here's the thing that is kind of the scariest to me about the situation. And tell me if I'm wrong here. The perception of Northwestern was that's a culture program.
They won with culture.
And to find out that that's what was happening the whole time, that's scary to me.
Yeah, but do we know is it the magnitude that we think it is?
I don't know.
Because apparently it wasn't enough. There was some kind of crazy difference between a 2-week unpaid leave versus firing.
So here's the other thing that I was thinking about listening to you guys talk the last couple of days on Coffee and Cream is, so they had like the big long investigation, right?
6 months.
That maybe feels like it wasn't on the up and up. That's what I took away from it.
Like the investigation?
Yes.
Okay, so
because if the student newspaper
even if you're faking
an
investigation, you faked it for 6 months?
Well, they didn't do a good job, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
But if the student newspaper was able to find stuff over like a weekend, like to me, that was saying, hey, we had a report. We have to show an investigation to cover our, what's.
Ass is.
Yes. And so we're doing this to make it seem like we're okay. And then we're going to have a suspension. And then the school newspaper threw a wrench in everything.
Yeah. I got a great story for next week, too. I was talking to a guy, Scott, who remembers when the school newspaper, the Daily Nebraskan, tried to get Mo Iba fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
School newspapers, man.
Well, and this isn't a school newspaper one, but we got to go back to Miami in the 90s because it was a student. I think it was at the Miami Herald. But Dan Lebitard was a student at Miami working for the Miami Herald that broke the Pell Grant deal.
Yep.
And so it wasn't the student newspaper, but it was a student that, like, I believe he got death threats for, like, bringing down the Miami program.
Dude, that was like the beginning of the end.
It was. That was what caused all of the strife that they ended up having to rebuild under Butch Davis.
Yeah. Those private institutions, man, just doing their own thing.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, I
say that tongue in cheek.
That's why. But the Northwestern thing is scary because we all upheld them as, like, a bastion of a culture program.
It's a good word, too.
That's an SAT word right there.
A good one to end on.
That is all for us today. We got you a little sports on the end there, but we had a good time talking about
life.
A lot of food, a lot of life.
All right, we're
growing up, not quite poor, but
I got some. We got some topics we got to hit next week. I'm not going to let you talk me off the.
Listen, I had sports stuff to talk about today.
Look, man, it's your fault.
Next week, we will be back on Dish and Ish. That's Damon Benning. I'm Ravi Lulla. Shane Schillerberg, our fearless producer. We appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.